any percent can be written in a decimal form without the percent sign. Let's look at a few problems where we convert percents into their decimal forms. In A, we're going to convert 60% to a decimal. In order to get rid of the percent sign, we replace the percent sign with divide by 100. So we can rewrite 60% as 60 divided by 100. Now there's a shortcut way to divide by 100. I can recopy the 60. And in order to use the shortcut, I need a decimal point here. Since 60 is a whole number, its decimal point is understood to be at the right end of the number, just to the right of the 0. Now the shortcut way to divide by 100 involves moving that decimal point 2 places to the left. So the decimal point ends up just to the left of the 6. 60 divided by 100 is equal to 0.60. The 0 on the right end of that decimal is not necessary. So I can rewrite this as just 0.6. 0.6 is the decimal form for 60%. I could also write that 0.6 as 0.6. If you prefer to write a 0 in front of the decimal point, go ahead and do it. You don't have to, but you can. Now another thing about this problem, let's think about this shortcut way of dividing by 100. It's easy sometimes to forget which way to move the decimal point. If you're ever uncertain, go ahead and divide using the long division process. Take 60 and divide by 100, like so. Now 100 doesn't go into the whole number of 60, so I can add a decimal point inside, write a decimal point up above. Because I've written a decimal point here, I can write a 0 just to the right. And now I can think about 100 going into 600, that's 6 times. I write 6 above, just to the right of the decimal point. 6 times 100 is 600. 600 minus 600 is 0. And there I have my answer, 0.6. So either use the shortcut to divide by 100, which amounts to moving the decimal point 2 places to the left, or go through the long division process if you're not sure. In either case, you get 0.6 for our decimal answer here. Now let's go ahead and do another problem. Let's do B, where we convert 7.5% to a decimal. That's 7.5 divided by 100. Now because I want a decimal answer here, I'm going to rewrite 7.5 as a decimal. What's the decimal for 1/2? I hope you have that memorized, but if you don't remember the decimal for 1/2, we can figure it out. I do know that 7.5 is going to be 7 point something. The decimal part, the part of the number to the right of the decimal point, is what represents the 1/2. Now, I can figure that out by taking 1 and dividing by 2. 2 doesn't go into 1 as a whole number, so I can write down a decimal, put a decimal point up above, add a 0 on now. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. When I subtract, I get 0. So there's my decimal for 1/2, 0.5. 7.5 is 7.5. And I have to still divide by 100. Now, sometimes students make a mistake here where they stop at 7.5. It's true, the decimal form of 7.5 is 7.5. But we also have to get rid of the percent sign. We also have to divide by 100. We have not converted to a decimal without a percent sign until we do that division. We could do that division by using the shortcut method here. Take 7.5 and divide by 100 by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. In order to move it 2 places to the left, I need to write a 0 between the decimal point and the 7, and I end up with 0.075. That's my decimal form for 7.5%. Not only did I convert 7.5 to a decimal, but I also divided by 100. If you like, you can write a 0 in front of the decimal point. That's optional. And again, if you aren't certain about the shortcut way to divide by 100, you can work this out using long division. You can write 7.5 and divide by 100 the long division way. Now the decimal point in my answer will be right above the decimal point in the 7.5. 100 doesn't go into the whole number 7. I could write a 0 above the 7. I don't have to. That's optional. 100 also doesn't go into 75. Now I need to write a 0 up above because I'm to the right of the decimal point in my answer. I can add a 0 inside down below. 100 goes into 750. That's 7 times. 7 times 100 is 700. Subtract, I get 50. And now I can add on another 0 inside and bring it down. 100 goes into 500 5 times. 5 times 100 is 500. Subtract, I get 0. And there's my 0.075 answer. So whether you do the long division or the shortcut, we end up with 0.075 as the decimal form for 7.5%. Now let's do one more. Let's do C, 0.02%. Once again, I just want to mention that that 0 in front of the decimal point is not necessary. This is the same as writing 0.02%. 0.02 is a decimal, but we want to convert to a decimal form without a percent sign. In order to get rid of the percent sign, we need to divide by 100. 0.02 divided by 100. And once again, we can choose between our shortcut method or the long division. If we use the shortcut method, 0.02 divided by 100 means I have to move its decimal point 2 places to the left. In order to hold those 2 places to the left, I write 2 zeros here. And I end up with 0.0002 as my answer. 0.0002 is the same as 0.02%. And also let's look at the long division process just in case we forget the shortcut. We could have taken 0.02 and divided by 100 using long division. Now, we're already at the decimal point when we start. 100 doesn't go into that 0 to the right of the decimal point. I need to write a 0 up above. 100 doesn't go into 2. I need to write a 0 up above. 100 doesn't go into 20 when I add a 0 inside. So again, I need to write a 0 up above. If I write another 0 inside, finally, 100 goes into 200 2 times. 2 times 100 is 200. Subtract, we get 0, and we're done with the long division. So you can decide, either use the shortcut, moving the decimal point 2 places to the left, or go through the long division process. In either case, we end up with 0.002 as the decimal form of 0.02%.